It's McDonald's late at night.
Yeah.
Buses.
Yeah.
Address.
Bro.
That's
so like,
confirmed.
when literally we bought our ice creams.
Oh,
We're standing
God.
outside waiting for our stuff to come through. And then she pulls through with her and the gents. She was in a nightgown, bro. Like, they literally walk in and then they sit together and I'm like, hey, it's... And like, I put two and two together, like, oh snap. This is why she stopped talking to me, because like...
Homie's down bad. Yo, dog, and you didn't share this with us, bro. You were going through the most and you kept quiet, fam. What's going on?
I'm sorry.
I was still putting two and two together at the time.
Peace,
So like,
fam.
for the rest of that night, I was just like...
No.
You think it's okay to ghost?
No.
Yeah. So after
Nah, it is.
after you found out, yo, my man from down the road is busy, yeah, and you ghost.
Yeah.
Do you think that's okay?
Yeah,
Do you think that's cool?
No, okay. Wait. Let's
would do
define ghosting first.
Okay.
Let's define ghosting. What do you mean by ghosting? Then you'll answer, then I'll answer. What
So
do you mean by
ghosting? Yesterday, we were talking. It was all good.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
But was it really?
Last night, I find out what's happening on
Yeah.
in the other part of the game.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then today I decide, yo, this is a lot for me. It's a lot of chest pains or whatever. I'm just feeling a lot of pain, or it's whatever your emotional space is. It could be anger, it could be whatever, yeah. And your reaction is to just cut off communication and disappear without an explanation as to why. You get me? So that's ghosting. You just cut communication, you don't explain why, there's no closure, there's none of that. You just dip.
Okay. That's his definition of ghosting. Yours, huh?
It's kind of similar. It's just like, I wouldn't say things are going well, but like you're in the midst of like, talking, getting to know each other, and like, not constant.
Over text.
I don't know what,
Like,
I
just
mean,
in
I feel like
general.
it's easier over text, but yeah,
Okay.
you're just talking and stuff, and then out of nowhere, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, you just dip, but like over time, communication slows down, and then you dip. That's what I would say ghosting is.
Yo, what's your definition, bro?
Okay, so yes, like the whole thing of just cutting communication and just completely going off the radar.
Sure.
Right? It can go as far as blocking the person, numbers, so forth, right? But there's also that thing of the intent behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because usually when guys do it, or at least some of the friends I had in the past, when they go on this thing of ghosting someone, right? It's a matter of they've gotten what they want from the person, right? And now this person they just want to push them to the side, and they don't want them to be, It's like people. It's like some guys keep girls on a rotation, bro. They'll have 5 girls that they're talking to and rotating one, rotating two. That's very problematic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's very problematic, and that's why then some of the guys they ghost the 4 or whatever, right? Or one of them that they are not particularly interested in it at the time, and they just without explanation, right? But that person's under the impression that you two are in some sort of a relationship, right? And so, if there is that basis that there's some sort of a relationship, right? You do owe that person an explanation,
Facts.
right? Because that's you're hurting that person by just cutting off communication
But don't you
completely.
think the explanation would make it worse though?
No, look, it would be better.
Lie, dude.
No.
But here's my thing. The whole point of what we're talking about now is the whole thing about there's no closure, dog. You get me? This girl,
this specific scenario.
you in that scenario where like the guy's got a rotation, and he wants to cut off one branch. You get me? So he goes. This girl, she's attached. You get me? He's been leading her on basically, right?
So he's at fault.
He's at fault because he's led her on and she's emotionally attached, and emotional attachments aren't easy to firstly form, and they're very difficult to break, especially when they're broken in such a bad way. You get me? So Taps made the point of, yo, listen, what if the truth, the explanation, it makes it worse, right? in my opinion, yo, listen, tell the truth. But if you're on the tip of let me spare her feelings, then make up something that's at least going to see where it's easier for her to recover from this. Whereas you told her I was just playing with you. You get me? That's one thing.
Okay.
If you want to be on like that kind of moral code of I'm being ethical when I'm doing the right thing by sparing her feelings. But what's important is she has to have closure. She has to have closure. Because
look, let me put
have
it
you
this
have you
way.
been ghosted before?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not that person.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But let me put it this way. In the example you gave, like whereby you've been speaking to this person, then you find out that something else is happening, right? You two are not in any sort of a relationship whereby you owe that person or that you owe that person an explanation or or vice versa, right? In that instance, right, it really doesn't matter. You can choose to speak to the person or not, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, you can ghost in that situation, I guess. But I'm saying, if it's someone you've been talking to, you've led this person on. You've made some sort of intention clear. Although it's not your true intentions, you've made some sort of intention clear to the person, right? And she's on board with the ideas that you're bringing to her, right? It's very problematic. If you've sold her dreams, basically, right? Which is a problem on its own, right? Don't now go and make the problem. Like, okay, number one, don't sell dreams in the first place, right? But if you do sell dreams, don't now go and make the problem worse by leaving the poor girl
Without an explanation.
clueless, right? Because that stuff really damages people. Like, I've learned from my experiences, my mistakes, right? Because, look, especially when I was younger, that's not too long ago, but especially when I was younger, I sort of didn't understand how damaging or how serious that kind of thing is.
Yeah.
In the way you're speaking to someone and you've spoken about the potential of you two doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then all of a sudden, poof, you're out.
Yeah.
That's very damaging, and that's not something I would say someone should do.
Okay.
Like I really am against it because I wouldn't, not even because it's someone I like or whatever, but it just goes down to respect, man. Do you respect this girl or not? Do you respect her or not? If you don't, that you'll hurt people, man. It's not nice, bro.
So I think we all agree that the answer to that is no. It's not okay to ghost. Yeah. I think just to say on what you just finished saying, yeah, to build up on that. The thing is, it's about now the difference in the order of magnitude, bro. Like, if it's that first scenario you talked about or you spoke about where it's not necessarily you've led her on and you don't really owe her anything in that way, so it's not serious, nah.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. I still believe, the longer you spend communicating with that person, the more important it is and the more you owe them an explanation. It's still very vague. There's no defined point where I can say, you see, from this point, I owe an explanation. But it's about from the moment you see a person and the moment you start talking and there's the potential of something, right? From that moment on, there's now a gradual progression, like a spectrum, basically, where the highest, we can say the main milestone on that spectrum is a relationship, right? Somewhere in between there, right, there is a point where you say, I owe you an explanation and I shouldn't ghost you. And maybe just before that, there's a spectrum where it's not that deep. She won't mind, I won't mind. It is what it is, man. And for me, in my opinion, dude, just to be on the safe side, because you don't know what people have gone through, you don't know what she's gone through. So she might have experienced this a lot. And you're ghosting in a stage where you think it's not that deep, is deep for her.
That's why you communicate.
So be safe, on the safe side, and be on the tip of the moment there has been that initial contact and my mind changes, I have to tell you. I don't ghost you. You get me?
Yeah.
But yeah, Taps, you were explaining the other side of the coin, bro.
No, I already did though.
Yeah.
Sometimes your reasons for ghosting could be very they could be bad, bro. So in order to spare the girl's feelings, you're just like, hey, no, I'm just fine and I need to tell you what's up. Or they couldn't be. I don't know, bro. The thing is,
Give a scenario.
What is a bad reason?
Yeah, give a scenario.
I wouldn't say there's a bad reason.
Not
but
there's
like,
a good. Not that there is a good one, but anyway.
like, okay, well, personally speaking, if I was to ghost anyone, the reason why I would say I ghosted away was because I wasn't feeling it anymore.
So this is where you just need to communicate and ask. Look, okay, we've been talking for a while. These are my intentions. I want us to be serious. Or in your case, look, I understand we've been getting to know each other and we've been talking for a while, right? However, I don't think perhaps we're suited. Be honest, man. Like, don't now spite the person, right? And be like, no, we can't be together because you do this or you look like. No, who are you to judge that person?
And
No.
here's my thing.
But you must just say, look, I don't feel like this is something I want to carry on with. Be honest, you know?
Communicating is another way of saying don't ghost. Ghosting, the whole point about ghosting is you haven't communicated as to why you've acted this way. You haven't given closure. And that communication is that closure that the whole process needs.
Yeah.
But man is doing up Casper the Friendly Ghost. You get me?
No, that's wrong, guys.
It's all just, peace. It was lovely. But like, listen, I get the pressure that my man was facing, yeah, in the sense that you don't want to be mean, dog.
Also that.
You know what I mean? Man doesn't want to be mean, but it's not being mean. It's she'll appreciate the honesty more than she'll react to you're just dipping and just slowly phasing out conversational, like, you know what I mean? Just communicate, James. Let's talk, James.
Yeah, because look,
Yeah.
beyond this thing of you two wanting to be in a relationship with each other, look, man, this person could be potentially a colleague. This person could potentially be a connection to something, later in life. Like, be civil, and that's probably why I'm against the idea of a total ghost. Unless
Yeah.
There's a difference when, and I feel very strongly about this,
Yeah.
when you've been cheated on, right?
Okay.
And you break things off with someone,
Yeah.
and you say, look, I do not want to speak to you, right?
Yeah.
And you have every right to do that because for your mental health, it's important that this person, depending on how you process things. But I'm saying personally, I don't need to be speaking to this person for me to heal. What do I need to be texting you and calling you every day for if we're no longer in a relationship and you did this to me? Right? I can forgive you and move on, right? But I'm making the conscious decision of not having you in my life. So I completely, like myself, it happened and I completely cut off every single tie I ever had with that person. Right? Because it was essential for my mental health. And I wouldn't blame anyone who does that. Especially if you're in a position where you've been hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if it's a case where there's no animosity between you two at all, be civil, speak here and there if you can. If you don't want, you don't have to. But just be civil. Because I mean, guys, we're growing up, right? And we really need to get past this thing of, I can't talk to her just because, unless there's like a solid reason where your mental health is at play. Then I guess.
Personally, I'm just not a fan of conflicts also. So.
Yeah, man.
Don't make it. Chances are it doesn't end up being a conflict, but that depends on.
I'm not meaning like conflict, but like just any
uncomfortable conversations.
You
can't be in the game and not and avoid uncomfortable conversations. You won't progress. It's like the game is characterized by those, bro.
Yeah, he's right. Like,
you know what I mean?
It's the game. I don't know, but he's right. He's right.
The dating life, the pool.
He's right in saying that if you shy away from uncomfortable conversations, you live in discomfort for the rest of your life. That's the thing. So just face them head on,
and the thing is,
not that I'm
a decent friendship. The thing is, uncomfortable conversations build as well. The result, if they're done well, is almost always better like than what you had before, in the sense that you could have had a really good friendship come out of that situation. You get me? Because you're communicating, and what friends do is they talk. You know what I mean? Like, so having those conversations, a lot of good comes out of it. And I know it's not easy because it's difficult to start talking about really difficult emotional things, or things you just, you know, maybe scared of or whatever. But there's more gain, is the point I'm trying to make. There's a lot of gain that comes from those kinds of conversations. You get me?
Well, I just need to grow up. That's what I'm saying. We need to grow up.
Bluntly put?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, ghosting isn't it, gents.
So have you ever been ghosted before?
Nah, I don't think so.
Have you been ghosted?
Nah.
So then I'm the only one here who's actually experienced both
Wait,
sides
no,
of
I'm
the
lying.
spectrum.
Sorry,
you have?
yeah.
And how did you feel afterwards?
I felt like it was justified, man. Like,
How?
there was reason to.
And what did you do?
That's not entirely important, but what I'm saying is, that's why I said I wouldn't blame anyone for...
So it was that scenario of you've been wronged.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were fine.
That was the most uncertain I've ever heard in my life.
I'm not sure. I understand why she did it.
No, it wasn't a thing of I was happy with it, right?
But you
I was,
understood why, like, it happened.
yeah, I respected the decision, right? And I was like, no, it's out of respect, you know? I was like, yeah, that's fine.
But you see, the way you say it, like, you got ghosted because you said you did something, right?
Yeah.
See, in my situation, I did nothing wrong. Like, no, I was. Yeah.
But did you do anything right to that thing?
I did nothing wrong.
He's asking the right question. Did you do anything right?
But I did nothing wrong.
Gents.
I did nothing wrong. And then,
Hey.
because it goes back to what we were talking about, how, you know, there's me and then there's Tabo from down the street. So in that situation, there was a Tabo from down the street. I just didn't know about him.
And how did you find out? Oh, you never found out?
I did, but like,
After
it was
you got
after
ghosted.
like the ghosting, which was probably like a week or two after. Cause like,
From who did you find out?
I saw her with the dude.
So you assumed that that's what was happening?
Sometimes you just know, like, from what you see.
Sometimes you just...
It was, you know, it was in Pretoria, and then I don't
feel-
know. It was that time. I don't know. I think someone was recording at your place, and then we went to McDonald's at night.
Okay.
And it was like late at night, around like 2 or 1
Wait,
a.m.
McDonald's late at night?
Yeah.
Busing.
Yeah.
At Rez.
At Rez, bruh.
That's
So like,
confirmed by
when
GPS
literally we bought our
It's
ice creams.
confirmed.
Oh
We're
my
standing
goodness.
outside
Yo.
waiting for our stuff to come through. And then she pulls through with her and the gents. She was in a nightgown, bruh. Like, they literally walk in and then they sit together. And I'm like, hey, it's... And like, I put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, snap. This is why she stopped talking to me. Because like...
Homie's down bad. Yo, dog, and you didn't share this with us, bro. You were going through the most and you kept quiet, fam. What's going on?
Ish, I'm sorry.
I was still putting 2 and 2 together at the time.
Oh, peace,
So like,
fam.
for the rest of that night, I was just like... That's what happened.
Tabs, fam.
Look, okay.
There's no doubt on that one. There's no doubt. Dog.
No.
And you see there, when she did it, I was like, oh snap, okay, cool. I mean, of course I didn't feel fine
Damn,
afterwards,
bro.
but like, no, as time went on, I was like,
Okay.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so, but at any point where you were speaking to this person, did this person ever say like, no, Tabs, I really like you, let's try get into a relationship together? Did
Nah,
she-
but it doesn't have to get to that far, bruh. Most we're talking about that spectrum, dude.
Talking stage.
They're talking, fam. And yo, listen, man. Like, fair enough. What you said, did he do anything right? So she might not have been as invested as he was. Yeah, fair enough. But at least, dog, tell me that I'm not feeling your vibe. Don't do that to me, dog. Now I'm finding out on a Friday night in Hatfield, you there in your nightgown and some dude in McDonald's.
Okay, can I just
You
jump
get-
onto what you just said?
Yeah.
At least let me know that you're not feeling my vibe. That's what you want to say.
Sure.
You, the person you ghosted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Do you see what I mean?
Nah,
I understand.
big
So,
facts.
you see, we can't
Big
have that
facts.
double standard.
Big
If you
facts.
expect something, right, do it as well.
Big facts.
You know what I mean?
Big facts.
Like, you can't have that double standard.
Do unto others.
What you want done unto.
Amen. Amen. Nah, that's
what
for sure.
happened. Karma over. It goes around. I'm sorry, man, that happened.
Yeah,
But
It's
look,
tough,
it
man.
happened.
It made me a better man, bro. I learned, but I don't trust.
I ghosted someone before, and to be honest with you, man, I did it because it was just the easier thing to do, not the right thing to do.
Again, it's also the easier thing.
It's the easier thing to do, and to be honest with you, if I were to go back, I wouldn't do that. You'd give that person closure, man, because in my situation at least, that was someone I was close to. You get me? So it was even worse because there is that connection and that attachment. So me just dipping, I can only imagine how peak it was for her. You get me?
Yeah.
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 So it's one of those things, James. Just don't ghost. Communicate. Closure. Let's not do this to people's daughters.
They also mustn't do it to us.
Or people's sons.
Just don't do it to anyone, bro.
Yeah.